Okay, to start our new book, Things Fall Apart, we need to go over a few elements. The first one is that this is a tragedy. In a 1965 article in the Black Orpheus, Nigerian literary critic Abiola Ayerli wrote, "The immediate subject of Chinua Achebe's novels is the tragic consequence of the African encounter with Europe. The purpose of the original tragedy is that through the individual character making the mistakes that he does, it makes the reader think about the wider issues." So in this book, we are looking at Okonkwo, and we are then seeing how he represents the tragic events of colonialization. So looking back at the classical tragedy according to Aristotle, it's imitation of an action that is serious and also having magnitude complete in itself. Incidents arousing pity and fear wherewith to accomplish the catharsis of such emotions. So the tragic hero is high in status, has a tragic fall, usually hubris, leads the hero to lose everything, a lot of times death or banishment. So in this novel, we have Okonkwo, who is our tragic hero, and we're going to be discussing if his actions help the audience to sympathize with him and establish that catharsis. Okay, reflecting on the past tragedies compared to Things Fall Apart, this chronicles the tragedy of the Igbo society in conflict. So this is part of the rise and the fall. With that, we see how life of the individual is intricately linked into society. So here we do have some of the classicals with Oedipus Rex of the tragedy, but also we have some modern elements, again linking to the society, that postmodern element. Individuals are only as strong as the culture they are in. When a rigid individual is unable to change, they will be swept away by history. This is the tragedy. The tragedy is the loss of culture. Okay, so we're going to be talking about informing arguments. Is Things Fall Apart a tragedy? Does the fall of the Igbo culture to Western culture evoke pity in the audience? Is Okonkwo a tragic hero? Does he have status at the beginning? Does he have a tragic flaw? Does he fall in status? Is Okonkwo's fall from status enough of a parallel to show the fall of the culture as well? One thing that we really need to focus on while reading this is the style and the figurative language. As we will start out today, you've already seen that there's lots of proverbs. It's told in proverbs, figurative language. So critic Wilfred Carty points out that Achebe's figures of speech are rooted in the time and place in which the novel occurs. So the figurative language helps to establish the setting. He unites the novel through these similes and metaphors by establishing a traditional setting and relating it to the modern reader. Okonkwo's fame had grown like a bushfire in the Hammerton. Ikemefuna grew rapidly like a yam tendril in the rainy season. Okay, proverbs are metaphors in this book. They help to establish the culture and enhance the rhythm and the African experience. So, again, we have a story that links in the culture through oral tradition. It foreshadows events, stresses a theme. An example is, a chick that will grow into a cock will be spotted the very day it hatches. Developing the characterization through foils. So we have a lot of foils in here to help establish the contrast here. So we have Nyoe and Nzima, his children. Then we have Okonkwo and Ibieka, two men of status who take on different roles. And then Mr. Brown and Mr. Smith, who do two different styles of missionary work. So the symbolism that I want you to look for is, one, the exploding gun, fire. We have a lot of fire imagery. The roaring flame is also his name. Folk tales, how they're entwined. Again, this intertextuality of this, bringing in the postmodern elements with the classic tragedy. And then, of course, the yams. Okay, this also has a lot of irony in it, which I really want you to pay attention to. Chapter 15, Obirika states, "Perhaps green men will come to our clan and shoot us. Kill one of your sons for me, then kill yourself." Irony is used to show the lack of understanding between the two people or cultures, to show the tragedy, irony of Okonkwo's death. The point of view shifts, the irony, tragedy of Okonkwo. The important focus, the chi. People can shape their own fates by rejecting their chi, which again goes against the culture. Also, storytelling as an allegory, and then, of course, you need to examine the climax, the accidental killing of Zuda's son. So this is a very important novel because of because of Achebe bringing in the African voice. Traditionally, this voice was only captured by white men, so this book is not only important because of the author, but also because of the time and the style.